talking about Formula One, we are lucky to have a chance to talk to one of Formula One's driver with Thailand flag on his car. I think you already know who he is. Alex Albon. Hi, Alex.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
How's it going?
How's it going? I hope you're good.
Yes, good, thank you. Cold.
All right, so
it's cold here.
first of all, let me just say congratulations. You are back on the grid. Now, can you tell us what are you doing at the moment? Where are you?
So right now I'm in Turkey. I'm actually in the back in the truck. So we have the hospitality places around the track, and yeah, I've got Max and Sergio above me right now. So trying to stay a little bit quiet.
All right, so we're going to talk to you about, we just want to know you better. So can you tell us, when did you first start your training as a professional racer?
I would say I started when I was 7. My dad bought me my first go-kart. You start in go-karts, it's quite quite low horsepower, and you learn the basics of driving. And then from 8 years old, I did my first kart race. So after school, I would push my dad every time. I want to drive as much as I can. and that was it, really. It started from there.
Right. So a lot of people are putting their kids, especially in the what your dad also did to you. So your dad, Nigel Albon, he was also a former racer. So has he ever pushed you or your sibling to be on the track and follow his footsteps?
No, not really. I mean, I think when your dad races, it's inevitable that you love racing. So when I was 5 years old, I was car crazy. I think one of my first words was Ferrari or Rari, as I said back then.
Rari.
And from there on, I kind of just wanted to be a racing driver. So he didn't need to push me. It was myself kind of just being keen and wanting to be an F1 driver. And he supported me throughout that whole process. None of my siblings though wanted to be one, just me.
Right. So you're now a reserve driver. Some of us are not very familiar with the term. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so it's a different role to obviously being in the main as the two drivers. You have two drivers in the team, especially with COVID coming around. There's always a need for a driver to be there ready in case one of the drivers gets sick. So we have I'm a reserve driver for 4 cars, 2 teams, and most of the role that I do is simulator work. So Formula One, with all the technology that we do have, we have these virtual online cars back at base in the UK. We have a huge mega structure, which is basically almost like a racing game, but 20 times more expensive and 20 times more realistic.
Wow.
And I'm working alongside the race team, and we are actually racing alongside the real car in real time, developing the car and making sure the car is quick on the track.
All right, so you are moving to Williams next year. Congratulations once again. Can you tell us, why was Williams your first choice for F1 comeback, and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, so obviously, first of all, Formula One is a tricky thing to get into to begin with. It's the top 20 drivers in the world. There's a lot of racing drivers who want to be in Formula One, and only 1 or 2 spaces get available each year. So on my side, of course, originally I wanted to be back with Red Bull. Unfortunately, there wasn't much space here, so there was a choice between Williams and Alfa Romeo. And looking at where Williams are now, they're really progressing. They have new investors behind them, and it's next year we have a new regulation, so the cars will be completely different. So it's a fresh start for everyone. And I met the team, met the boss, and it all went really well. And I see how motivated they were, and I knew it was something I wanted to be a part of.
So, what do you think about the future of Southeast Asian racers to go into Formula One? We know that in Indonesia we have Rio Haryanto, so we just want to know your perspective on that.
It's a tricky one, firstly because we don't have the initial support and the infrastructure that, let's say, in Europe and America, there's a lot of people firstly wanting, racing in go-karts, and the competition is over there. So even at a young age, it's so important when you're 12, 13 years old to be over in Europe driving, because to be the best, you have to race against the best. Unfortunately, that's the way it is at the moment. But of course, it is on the rise. There is more motorsport happening within Southeast Asia, which is exciting for everyone, including myself. Obviously, I want to be a part of that movement, and I want to support and help everyone and have more Southeast Asian drivers in Formula One. But it is one of them things. It's a tricky period now. I think two-wheel motorsports is a little bit bigger than four-wheel motorsports at the moment, but it's coming along. And I think we were planning to have the Vietnamese Grand Prix, which would have been really exciting for everyone. But I think if we can get a race here, and then of course drivers into Formula One, it will hopefully take off motorsport, especially Formula One, in a big way.
Yeah, it's good to know that you have the dual nationalities, but you decide to carry the Thai flag wherever you go in the racing. Now, this is a bit of outside of the topic, but electric car is predicted to take over the road in the near future. So, what's your thought on the future of Formula E?
Yes, it's this new technology. Of course, cars are now becoming electric. In the motorsport world, Formula E is very exciting. It's a way that manufacturers have been able to showcase their technology into motorsport. Of course, it's at the minute battery power isn't as it's ongoing. Let's say so. The power, the speed of the cars, they're not as quick as Formula One. They don't last as long in terms of efficiency as a Formula One car. But the way I see it is, more so that Formula One, we're going towards that direction. So we already have hybrid engines, but a lot of the talk now in the next few years coming is to make the cars more efficient, whether it's the fuel, whether it's more intervention with electricity. It's going towards that direction. So Formula E, it's the next biggest thing in motorsport outside of Formula One. But obviously Formula One is still the leader, and I think there's going to be almost a merge where electric technology is going to come more and more within Formula One.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us, Alex. Hopefully, we'll see you next year on the podium. Take care.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
For Southeast Asians, we asked that question. Maybe it's a good that he mentioned about how if you want to be the best, you have to compete with the best. So probably the table is not there yet in Southeast Asia, but of course we are working towards that.
That's right. It would be nice to see more Southeast Asian face in F1.
I agree.